most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability for the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live in the placid island of ignorance, in the midst of the black seas of infinity, and it is not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little. But someday, the piercing together of disassociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality, and of our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation, or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. Well, scary stuff, guys. Welcome to Bardling's Banter. I am your host, Matthew, and today we are actually going over the Warlock class, or at least the spellcasting rules for the Warlock class. What we just listened to there was an excerpt from Call of Cthulhu, from the father of cosmic horror, H.P. Lovecraft, read by yours truly. The Warlock is a class in D&D that really can bring to life elements of cosmic horror, like that found in the works of H.P. Lovecraft, or a Faustian deal like from the works of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, as well as elements, say, from A Midsummer's Night Dream from Shakespeare. The basic concept of a warlock is that you gain your magical power through an outside magical influence. This can range wildly from anything from a classic deity like the dragon Bahamut to even the mad god Therzun, or even the head of the Unseelie Court, the Queen of Air and Darkness. The limits are only your imagination and what your dungeon master will allow. Mechanically, the Warlock works quite different than other spellcasters. Starting at first level, right away you gain Pact Magic, which is how you cast spells, and you gain your otherworldly patron, which is what we just went over, be that Vecna or Bahamut. At second level, you gain what are called Eldritch Invocations. You only gain a certain number of them at certain levels, and these are superpowers that really flavor what kind of warlock you want to be. Not unlike sorcery points and meta magic for sorcerer, but these skills are typically always on. Eldritch Invocations can vary from simply just giving you spells that you can always use to being able to speak languages, or to enhancing powers you already have. Starting at level 1, guys, your Warlock knows 2 cantrips, and that, like most other classes, increases by 1 at 4th and 10th level. As far as how many spells you can know, you start off knowing 2 spells, and that increases by 1 spell per level until you hit 10th level, and then the metric kind of changes. Where things get interesting, though, guys, is spell slots for a Warlock. They have, for starters, significantly less spell slots than other casters. However, instead of you needing to take a long rest in order to regain your spell slots, as a Warlock, you only need a short rest, which is 1 hour. So that's why there's, kind of the theme of a Warlock always asking for short rests, because they can just regain spell slots that quickly. So starting at level 1, guys, you have 1 spell slot, and it's at first level. The other thing about Warlocks is they always cast spells at the highest level. What that means is they don't have access to multiple different spell slots at different levels. It's always the highest level they can possibly cast it. So as I said, 1 spell slot at first level for a first level spell. And we're going to skip ahead to 4th level, where you have 2 spell slots, but they're 2nd level spell slots. As opposed to, again, skipping ahead, 8th level, where you still only have 2 spell slots, but they are at 4th level. So, again, you have not that many spell slots, but you can reload them faster, and they hit harder. Still kind of getting into more of the mechanics here, guys. Warlock is another charisma-based caster, like a paladin, like a sorcerer, like a bard, where a sorcerer, their charisma really shows their self-awareness. I would say a warlock's kind of got that dark charisma aspect going for them, if you choose to play it that way. Or the way I would really say is they are very aware of their patrons' needs, their patrons' desires, their patrons' goals, and their place in those goals, hopefully. As I said, your patron can vary as much as you want. Again, talk to your DM about what is available in the campaign based on the storyline that you guys are trying to create. But as I said, everything's on the table. Where the Warlock really shines is its ability to be used in multiclassing, either with other spellcasters, with other spellcasting classes, to gain access to more spell slots at different levels, or even with a melee class such as a fighter. A Hexblade Warlock multiclass with a fighter can be very effective as kind of your Gish spell sword kind of model. So we've kind of gone over the different subclasses are based off of what kind of patron you have. Additionally, you gain access to a certain number of invocations as you level up. Those are like Warlock superpowers, if you will. Finally, we got to talk about your packed boons. Those options are as follows. Pact of the Blade, which, gives you benefits to using melee weapons and magic items. Pact of the Chain, which actually gives you more familiar options, as in summoning. Pact of the Talisman, which is newer, which kind of gives you a magic I don't want to say item because that's a magic trinket that bestows benefits on whoever has it. Pack of the Tome is really effective for, your warlock who really wants to hex and curse, and really we're talking like Lady Macbeth witches kind of vibe here. So a warlock has the ability to really specialize into exactly whatever it is you want to do. Lastly, in this video, I kind of want to go over the rules on multiclassing, because I've mentioned that warlocks can be very effective as a tool for multiclassing. First off, the reason I say that is because it's a good way to give other spellcasting classes access to warlock spell slots, because they recharge at a short rest. That can be very beneficial. There are drawbacks, however, to multiclassing. That is that you are taking a level in a different class other than your original, rather. So, to put it differently, if everyone else in your team is, say, 4th level, you're still technically 4th level, but really you're, say, a 3rd level paladin and 1st level warlock. Basically, you are giving up or slowing down progression in your original class. Depending on what level you would have been going into, that could be anything from gaining 2 ability points to, depending, again, on what level, nothing. So sometimes it can be very beneficial to take a couple of levels in a different class. There are, of course, requirements to multiclass. typically you have to have a 13 in whatever that class's main score is. For example, if you were a Warlock and you wanted to multi-class as a Paladin, that requires you to at least have a 13 in Strength to do that. With that, guys, that really does it for the kind of quick and dirty intro to Warlocks. I hope all of you are doing well. Please like, subscribe, comment if you think I've earned it. And until next time, here's wishing you 1d10 worth of inspiration.